And when I say we're going to talk more about debt, we're going to talk about Tesla. I mean, Tesla, obviously, last night we had the numbers. It surprised, I think, a lot of people with their profit numbers. The idea that Tesla had a profit was one thing, but the idea that it just blew past expectations was another. It's interesting to see the stock not maybe up as much as you might think today. It's up sizably, but 7% gain. I'm sure they'll take it with the recent troubles they've had. But anyway, Charlie Gasparino joins us now with the latest on Tesla and Elon. Go ahead real quick.
Let me go back to that. We should point out that the cable companies incur debt mainly not buying content to compete against Netflix. I thought that's what she said, but it's mainly because they have cable operations, which are, which are labor intensive and infrastructure. It's a huge infrastructure thing. The one thing about Comcast that's interesting is that they don't have an over-the-top service to compete against Netflix. The talk around is that they're going to try to make a run at Hulu. Now, who owns Hulu right now? Well, after the Disney-Fox deal, Disney will own 60% of it. Disney already has over-the-top services that they're trying to combine.
Of course. Well, that's the way everybody seems to be going, especially the ESPN.
So the theory is, does Comcast make a bid for Hulu for a majority stake, because they desperately need an OTT service to theoretically compete against Netflix. They have the content already. NBC Universal, for example, is their big content.
That's the OTT stuff's the big thing.
But getting back to Tesla,
everybody thinks they need it. So Tesla, first of all, the earnings were, to lack of a better term, were great compared to what we expected, right? But now this is the day after story. So what are people talking about today?
It's the story that we did yesterday that people are talking about today. I did this on Clayman Show, and I said, take a look. Everybody's focused on the stock. Take a look at the debt. They're long-dated bonds. Right. They were trading significantly under 100 cents on a dollar, something like 80 cents on a dollar.
When was this? Right before
over the last couple of months. But we started seeing, as sort of whispers about better earnings, better cash flow came out, that the bonds prices started to rise. Why do they rise? Because it's a better chance of the bondholders getting repaid. Right. If you look at it now, from what I made some calls to traders, Tesla bonds are now trading at 90 cents on a dollar. Remember, 100 cents on a dollar is full value, right? So what you have right now is a bet in the market. I'm not saying it's right, by the way, because I still think they need capital. They have a huge debt payment due in March. They have another one due in a couple of months, or maybe November, all totaled for more than $1 billion. They still need money, I think, and a lot of other people think. But right now, immediately, what you're hearing from investors is the short-term cash flow problem just is not there. When you're pricing debt at almost 100 cents.
So it's a better bet. I mean, even Gene Munster is obviously a highly respected kind of analyst on technology in general, Apple for years. But he said, first sign when he saw the report last night, the company's moving to sustained profitability. Maybe getting a little... Maybe's big.
Now, there's a bear case.
People are feeling better about it.
There's a bear case. I just gave you the bull case. And I'm telling you, you look at the bond market, it's an interesting thing to look at, because it does predict whether a troubled company will make it or not. And it was predicting it might not make it. It's now predicting it's likely to make it, 90 cents on the dollar. But the bear case is third quarter earnings were always supposed to be this good. Sustained profitability is going to be very hard. Profit margins, if you're lowering the price of the Model 3, which they're trying to do, will shrink. Does that produce enough cash flow to sustain the business?
Yeah, sustainability.
And I can tell you that I believe, unless something changed, Jim Chanos, the Big Short, is not reversing his position on the third quarter. He basically knew. And a lot of the shorts knew. I'm not talking about the trolls on Twitter. I'm talking about the real guys.
I understand.
Einhorn, Loeb, Chanos. They always thought third quarter would be good. It's the question, is it sustained? I'll tell you one thing. Charlie Grant of the Journal brought up a good point last night in his Word on the Street column. They should raise money now. I think it's a mistake for him not to use this to get some
timing-wise, right?
Yes, because he's got good.
By the way, if you ever see Tesla move up their date for earnings and say, "Hey, we're going to report earlier," then that's probably a good sign. I think they've had two profitable quarters, and both times.
One other thing, since we're on media, Megyn Kelly is out at NBC.
Saw all the reports on that. Is that a definite?
But it's according to the New York Post, it's definite. Our old colleague.
Man, all right, Charlie. We'll talk to you. Thank you.